Hello, Nancy here. Talking about my teaching presentations on my vocal lessons I did. My student musical background, I actually had two students. In the video you just see one, but I actually had two students I worked with, one of which her name was Morgan and the other one was Nancy. Morgan, musical background, nothing really in voice, no choir, nothing like that, but she does read music and she did play the flute. She does play the flute actually. So I believe since she was in, I want to say middle school. Nancy, her musical background, she joined her church choir, so she sings in a choir, but she doesn't read music or anything like that. So very little with solo stuff. Let's see. Exercises I used. A lot of the exercises I felt for both of them I used the vowels like p and b just to get the diaphragm moving. So I showed them, I used a mirror for both of them so they can see themselves and myself when they would see me do it. So they could see that when I was actually doing it, you could see my diaphragm moving up and in and expanding when I did the p and the b exercises, so they can just get the grasp of knowing what their body needs to be doing. Even when it's not using those vowels, it needs to be constantly moving, and it's a muscle that helps you, you know. So did that, and I also did for Morgan, and since she could read music, but she never really sang anything, I felt if she could read music, maybe put some numbers on the notes and she would sing it instead of just doing it on a vowel at first, and it worked perfectly. I tried to giving her vowels, and I felt like she was I don't know if she was very embarrassed because it was the first, couple lessons. She was very faint. She was like I was sitting right next to her. It's really hard to hear. So I felt when I gave her numbers, it would work so much better. So I was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And first couple times it was a little bit iffy, but when she got used to it, it was like, it was something that I was really excited, and I could actually hear her, and she was on pitch, and I gave her praises and she loved it. So using numbers for her really worked. For Nancy, doing the exercise for her first, letting her listen to it and how I sing it a little bit so she can grasp it, because she's more of a not a visual learner obviously, but like a hearing listener first. So if I would do it and she would like, oh, okay, that's how you did it, but she wouldn't mimic me, so that was good. She did it her own way, but she still grasped the concept of the exercise. So I would do E, and she was like, okay, E, and to make sure you go the whole line on E, and also E, O, E, 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 hold on, I was like E, E, O, 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 E, something. I forget the exercise I used, but it was going back with E and O, and she had a hard time with that first without me demonstrating it, but after I demonstrated, it was awesome. So I kept demonstrating things for her first, and little by little I eased not demonstrating the whole exercise, and but because I didn't want it to depend on that, but I felt like that helped her a lot in the beginning. Okay, what works well? Like I said, numbers works well for Morgan, and demonstrating the exercises works best for Nancy. What hasn't worked well? Me not demonstrating or no numbers. I want to get some more exercises for Morgan. So I think she was a little bit nervous, but to get that sound out, she was very faint, and she sees like, so I felt like she was holding back. So I don't know if that was how she sounded, or that's how she sings, but I know there's a voice in there, and after I used the numbers, it was like half time better. So I want to try to get some more exercises, maybe not with numbers, some different way she can bring out her sound more. What did I find most challenging about my teaching? Taking myself out. Swoop, there we go. Taking myself out of the picture. I kept on thinking, oh, what would Miss Mim say to me? But that didn't help me because I'm not like them, and I had more years and more experience than my two students. So taking myself out of the situation, trying not to say, okay, why are they not getting this? I would do this. So maybe just taking myself out of the situation and thinking, okay, they're beginners. Think of when I was beginning. What did I have problems with, and what am I saying that they don't get? Because when I do a legato line, they're like, what is legato? Morgan might have known what legato because she knows music. But Nancy's like, what is, huh? Okay. So, just when the students didn't get it, it was like, I was like, okay, thinking a different way, maybe different lingo, taking it down a notch so they can actually get it. Take for instance, when I was telling Nancy, okay, you have to project more and, use your diaphragm. And she was like, project? Ah! She immediately opened her mouth, dropped her jaw, which for me, I have a problem with dropping my jaw a lot. And so I was like, okay, no, this is not what I want. How do I tell her I want more from her, but, so I was like, okay. So I did some breathing exercises with the, so she can see the diaphragm. And I was like, when I want more, this means, oh, like using your diaphragm, and it's actually going in and you're projecting. So, cause when you go, ah, you're pushing your stomach out, your diaphragm out, and you're not giving me what I want. It's actually, you're, giving me too much of the wrong thing. So, and then with Morgan, just her, I just wanted it to be projecting a little bit more and just having like a legato line because it was so faint, because sometimes you couldn't really hear her. So that was frustrating, and I had to think of how to get her get that way. And I used the numbers, and I also used the piano because I thought maybe if she just heard what she had to sing and I sang it a little bit. I didn't want her to mimic me or anything like that, but I just wanted to give her an idea, because the song that she sang had a Australian kind of accent. I was like, you don't have to do that, don't mimic the song. So I gave her like a different idea of how it could sound. So I believe that was helpful, but it was really challenging trying to not think of what I would do and like not dumb it down, but bring it down a notch for beginning singers to understand, because I'm a student myself, so I can't put myself in their situation when I have a higher level than them, basically. I'm trying to say in a nice way. That was much challenging for me. What might you do differently the next time you teach a voice student? I asked them what they wanted to sing. Maybe next time I would bring a song, because for me as a student, I hate singing songs I don't like, and it's really hard to get into it. So I asked them to sing a song, bring a song in. But maybe next time I could, like, couple times have lessons with them and figure out their style, then bring something I would like and they would like, not just they like, and I'm like, okay, how do I make this into a lesson, and try to teach them if I'm not familiar with the piece or anything like that. So that's what I would change in my next lessons. Let's see. With your experience you have gained, would you consider being a voice studio of your own? Why not? I would consider it, because I actually really enjoyed teaching. It was really fun doing something I love to do and teaching someone else like how to basically sing. It was awesome, and I don't know how to say this feeling, but this is what I love to do, and I'm teaching someone brand new about it. And after 4 or 5 lessons, I saw a difference, and I was so happy. I was like, I did that. I helped them achieve that, and it was just like an awesome feeling. Just for 4 or 5 lessons, I immediately saw a difference in their sounds. It was awesome. So I think so. I would. Not right now, obviously, because I won't perform, but in the future, I would. Or, both at the same time, if that's possible. In my case, yeah, because I do everything. I work and go to school all the time. Okay. What is the most unexpected / surprising thing you have learned through student teaching? Surprising thing is like, hey, I'm not half bad at piano sometimes, because I hate piano. Sorry. But I don't hate it. I love it when I get it. So, yeah, that you have to use the piano a lot. And I just, passed the piano proficiency, just in time for my senior recital, but it's so hard. And Miss Ruder Cooper was telling me, you have to play the piano. You have to play the piano. You're going to teach one day and you have to know how to play it. And she's right. Man, these things are so hard. I don't know how my accompanist Dr. Sharon does it and plays these things, but even Miss Mim, she's banging out my notes sometimes. I'm just like, oh man, how do you read all those notes? So I have to learn how to play piano better. But I had my lessons and I'm not half bad. Like, if I miss a couple notes or two, I throw my student off. So of course I don't want to do that to them, because I don't know if they're not getting it because of me or if they're not getting it because they're not getting it. So surprising enough, like, you have to know how to play the piano, and I struggle with that. So I want to get better at doing that. Let's see if I got all your questions that you wanted to know. Sorry about the long videos. I guess I just talked too much. Musical background, talked about. What kinds of exercise I introduced, talked about that. What would you find a challenge, talked about that. What might you do differently when you teach a voice student? Oops, sorry, talked about that. Yep, so I love both of my girls, because Nancy was different. She wanted to sing gospel, and I've never seen gospel in my life, so I always wanted to sing like a gospel singer, because people looked at me like, oh, you sing? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, what type? I'm like, opera. What? I thought you sing like gospel, R&B. I'm like, no. So, and then Morgan wanted to sing a song that usually Irish people sing. So I'm like, oh, wonderful, hey. So it's 2 different styles and 2 different types of voices. It was awesome to see their growth and everything. So I can't wait again. I actually want to teach a guy next time. I don't know why, but I don't know. I actually don't know why. But I would like to teach a boy or a man, whatever, to sing. I feel like I would do better, maybe. Oh, not better, but it'll be a different experience that I would enjoy. So thank you. Hope you have a good Christmas. Bye.